I really struggle with this. I really do. This whole question of Caitlin Clark and is USA Basketball wrong for doing this? Is it their responsibility to grow the game? Dan put that in his, and I made note of that. You know, if you're trying to grow the game, you want the biggest superstar in the game to be a part of it on the global stage. I agree with that. I don't. Here's where I come at this, though. Is it USA Basketball's job to grow the game of basketball internationally? Are they some sort of ambassadorship to make sure that countries in Asia are getting better at women's basketball, or that countries in the Middle East are better, or that European countries are taking the next step towards maybe global domination one day or winning a gold? Or is it the United States of America's responsibility as Team USA Basketball to win the damn gold medal and continue doing it like they have, 6 straight? Something like that? Yep. 5, 6 in a row. They're going for 7 straight gold medals. I think it's their responsibility to win the gold medal and put the best team on the court. Now, does the best team mean 1 through 12? Here are the best 12 players in the world. Here are the best 2-point guards. Here are the best 3 shooting guards. Here are the best 3 small forwards. I don't think it's as simple as that. I think you have to form a team. You got to have players that complement each other. You got to have a team of 12 players where everyone's skill set, abilities, weaknesses, everything complements everyone to a team. That's on a general manager to make those decisions and a coach to put the right team on the court. USA Basketball is saying Caitlin Clark is not right for this team. I have to respect their opinion on that, because I would sound like an idiot if I went 1 through 12 in this roster and tried to rank if they're better than someone else left off, they're better than other girls. I don't know. Other women on the team, I should say. Don't know. I don't watch it enough to really know. I respect their opinion to know the best combination of 12 players that they could put on the team together. Here's ultimately what I would love to get to in all of this. I would love to be in a position as Americans to watch the Olympic Games and support Team USA and our women's basketball team and every team representing the United States of America, because it's the Summer Olympics and it only happens once every 4 years, and it's what we do as patriots. We root on our country, regardless if we disagree with them, if we don't like decisions made by the team, whatever. We're going to root for them because it's America versus the world. I'd love to be able to say that and do that and know that the ratings are going to be great and that we're going to watch it. I also live in reality, and I know that less of you are going to watch the Summer Olympics, the women's basketball portion of it, because Caitlin Clark isn't playing a lot for that team. So I understand that part of it too. So Hutton, I'm a little bit torn. I fall on the side of they should get the 12 best players that complement each other for that team. And if Caitlin Clark's not one of those 12, I'm fine with it. So be it. That's their decision. We can move on and root them on to a gold medal. I also understand I've got a lot more interest in it, and everyone does if Caitlin Clark is a part of it.
Well, I'm not interested to watch her set the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to argue she's one of the best 12, okay, she's not a starter. And if you're going to put her on for the reasons of ratings, you put her on the floor. And if they're saying she's not one of the best to be on the roster, period, I don't want, just for the sake of ratings, I'd rather watch Caitlin Clark than watch USA lose the gold medal. Just hypothetically. Because they're saying this is the gold medal team, and this is the gold medal standard. I also don't understand this. And Dan, I think, was going at the point of growing the game internationally. Chad, what you said.
Yeah.
Those that say, oh, grow the game, they're looking at it from ratings. Grow the game with ratings, more popularity, more money. Well, which is it? Do you want to grow the game and then watch the league that you're mocking succeed and throw it back in your face? Or do you not want to grow the game ratings-wise and continue to allow yourself to point and laugh and mock the league that isn't turning a profit, that doesn't bring in ratings without Caitlin Clark, and that is all LGBTQ plus and Black Lives Matter? Which one is it? If you want to grow the ratings, okay. But when they have success because Caitlin Clark's on, everyone else is going to reap the benefit of that. And the same headlines, the regurgitated thought process continues, where Caitlin's not going to say anything. No one's going to say anything bad on the road to another gold medal. And 2 weeks later, what did it mean? I mean, there's a more popularity for the league that you're pointing at and mocking. So I'd like to understand, if you really want to see success, will you treat it as success? Or is it just about the Olympics? Screw the Olympics. I just want to watch Caitlin Clark sit the bench. I practice what you preach if you want that. That's all I'm saying.
I am 1,000% with you on this, and it's getting to the gist of my main point I'm trying to make with all this. Let's all watch the Olympics because it's the United States versus the world, and let's cheer on the American representatives that are out there competing for gold medals for our countries. I got into this with the World Cup with the U.S. women's national team, right?
Yeah.
There were a lot of people rooting against them, and I understand some of that sentiment, but those things have a tendency to just snowball and go downhill, and now what we're going to have, and I can go ahead and I'll tell you the future right now. First time U.S. women's national team struggles, the women's basketball team.
Yeah.
At the Olympics, they could be down at halftime to someone, whatever. Half of America is going to celebrate that because they didn't take Caitlin Clark. Websites are going to point out, look at this failing women's national team, the U.S., that snubbed Caitlin Clark, and they're reaping what they sow now. They're going to cheer on whatever the hell country they're playing. Croatia. I don't know who's in the tournament. France. They're going to become big fans of the French all of a sudden and root against them over the United States of America because they disagree with that whole deal. That kills me. That kills me. I understand that division sells. I don't care personally. When it comes to the Olympics, if you put on the red, white, and blue, and here's where I'm going to go, Mr. Patriot, on this, because being Mr. Patriot also tends to sell. When you plaster your face on something and talk about commandos killing people or whatever, that seems to be something that generates stuff. This is me being Mr. Patriot. I want the United States to do well. Is that a controversial hot take? No. I want them to do well with Caitlin Clark or without Caitlin Clark. Don't care. I want them to dominate the rest of the world because I'm an American and I'm proud of the country, and I'm going to root for them against all other countries all over the world. I'm all red, white, and blue, baby, when it comes to this. And I'm going to watch the Olympics regardless if I agree or disagree with the participants competing in any sporting event. And I'm going to root against every other country in the world when they're playing against them.
So what I would say is,
but I'm not,
and you're right.
But I'm an outlier here. I really am the outlier on this one, and I know it.
Well, the snowball effect with the Team USA for women's soccer. The Sun came out because I haven't talked about them since they were competing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know and don't care what they're up to right now, quite frankly. Instead of someone who isn't on the team, which is exactly going to be the argument, Chad. There's going to be a mystery. How about what about the others on the bench that could have been in that coach didn't put in? Chelsea Gray's injured. You know, like whatever. And that Chelsea Gray, by the way, been lifted on the injury chart I saw today to questionable. Can't believe I'm getting the injury update there, but she's the potential spot for Caitlin Clark. Chelsea Gray, the guard who hasn't played since the WNBA finals that no one watched a year ago because they play the finals during the NFL football season.
And because it's the WNBA finals and we don't care.
And 2 of the games went head-to-head on Sundays with the NFL.
Yeah.
But the point being, and you're right, point being, again, I mean, if you're going to do it for the popularity's sake, do it. But, I mean, I want it to be good.
I want it to be pure.
And
I wish it was pure. It's not. Dave, you brought up an interesting example where it's not pure, but not everyone was talking about it because this person was not of the caliber, not as a player, but as a popularity figure at the time as Caitlin Clark. Candace Parker got snubbed from an Olympic team because Gino Auriemma doesn't like Pat Summitt players.
Well, the only time I've heard her name,
she was the MVP of the WNBA and a champion. Yeah,
the final MVP or whatever, right?
Yeah. And that was wrong too, but that was more of a personal issue with coach and player, with Gino coaching the team. But I don't want to see that. I truly, this may be an altruistic view of what I want, but I think it is your responsibility if you're the general manager of USA Basketball to full faith, being intellectually honest, plan a team that's the best to represent the United States of America on the court in international competition to win it. And that is not necessarily 1 through 12 best in the world. It could be those that complement each other well also. Here's another conspiracy theory I'll throw out there that I kind of buy into with Caitlin Clark. Again, I don't know if she's one of the 12 best in the world. I don't know if her skill set would complement others or not. So I'll put that out there beforehand. Feels a little bit like Isaiah Thomas in 92 with the Dream Team, in that the way we've seen the league respond to her popularity, and they haven't been very quiet about it. They've been outspoken about how it irritates them and how they think that she's getting way too much praise for not being a great player yet, and they want to rough her up a bit, which is some of that is just rookie stuff across any sport, but there's a lot more to it than that. It makes me think that USA Basketball knew the other players in this team weren't going to like her, and they were going to be jealous of her spotlight if she's a part of this Olympic team, even though she's sitting the bench.
Well,
and that everyone would be talking about her and not the team, and that could cause division. It's the same way Tony Vitello joined our show and said, we lost one of our top players because there was a false report a guy was making $250,000 and he wasn't, and someone bought that false report and left because they felt slighted. They felt like they weren't getting the love they should get, so they left. So maybe it's USA Basketball making a concerted effort and decision to say, you know what? It's going to cause problems in the locker room. And that's not even necessarily her fault. It's just the aura and spotlight she brings is going to be a distraction and a problem.
Or they just knew that she's not one of the top players right now.
That too. But I'm throwing that out there as a possible element in this, that it's just not worth it if you know that you can put this team together and go and dominate and win another gold.
Yeah, but so the flip side of that is I don't know the roster by heart. I know Diana Taurasi has said you got to earn your stripes and do all this stuff before she even entered the league. Caitlin Clark entered the league. Diana Taurasi said in April this. I just really know of 2 or 3 WNBA players who are talking a lot of trash. I don't think they're on this roster either. About Caitlin Clark.
Well, there's more than that. There are others.
They may be fouling her hard, but I mean,
but
the Team USA
Stewart
also went at it in practice.
Right, Brianna Stewart. There's a lot of criticism of her game in her. Some more hurtful than others. But I know, like, Brianna Stewart has said some stuff.
Sure.
About what her thing was. She can't be considered one of the greatest because she hasn't won a national title. Remember, and I'm thinking, well, that's easy to say when you're playing for Gino Auriemma and you've got an all-star team at UConn and you're winning multiple national titles there, and she's not.
Well, she's not one of the greatest, but she's one of the greatest for Team USA this year, if that were the case.
Well, she's saying greatest all time.
I know,
remember the debate was about that in college.
You could have the argument of that and still say she's worthy of being on the team and she's going to help us win. Somebody's got to. The argument is she's taking my spot in the starting lineup.
Right.
I just don't. I don't think it's because of controversy in the locker room. Has Brittany Griner said anything about this?
No. I'm
just
floating
curious.
this out there I don't think that they have a personal problem with Caitlin Clark. I don't think she's done that. Let's compare it to Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas got blackballed from the 92 Dream Team because he walked off the court with the rest of the Pistons and would not shake Michael Jordan's hand at the end of the 1991 Eastern Conference Finals when the Bulls finally broke through and beat them after 3 losses, the Pistons, the playoffs. Jordan hated him.
And Jordan blackballed him.
Jordan did, but Jordan claims it,
but I haven't heard Barkley say anything.
And I got the quote.
That it was the team.
He says the Dream Team, based, and this was in The Last Dance, he said this. The Dream Team, based on the environment and the camaraderie that happened on that team, it was the best harmony with those guys. Would Isaiah have made a different feeling on the team? Yes. So that's Jordan saying it. He talked about it in that too. He said, I wasn't the only one who had an issue. But if you remember, Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas just got back together recently in an interview for NBA TV. Magic hated him. Larry Bird hated him. Almost everyone on that team that mattered hated Isaiah Thomas too. That was Jordan's point. And he admitted, was I the most vocal about it and talking about it and telling Rod Thorne, hey, if he's on the team, I'm probably not going to be a part of it? Yeah. But he was echoing the thoughts of everyone that it was going to change the dynamic of the locker room if Isaiah was around. Now flip that to Caitlin Clark. It's not because of anything she's done. She has not disrespected an opponent. She's not walked off the court winning a playoff series and pissed off Breanna Stewart or some other legendary women's basketball player. It's the fact that she gets all the attention. And these women are jealous about it. And if you get to Paris and all the talk is about the 12th player on the roster that's playing 4 minutes a game, maybe it's USA Basketball saying it's not worth the drama it's going to cause, even if it's not her fault.